Hi, One Best PR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing the main card of UFC 199. We're talking with Nick Kalikas and Brad Taschuk, both MMA experts coming to us from MMAOddsBreaker.com. Corey Anderson and Jan Blachowicz. Blachowicz right now minus 150, Anderson plus 130 on the other side. Both these guys coming off of losses. Corey Anderson is a well-regarded prospect, but definitely not a complete fighter, I would say, as of right now. And Blachowicz, looks like he should win. He's only minus 150, and the question is, how will he rebound from his loss? I don't know. With the competitive odds that this fight has, Brad Taschuk, do you think there's any side with value?
I actually like Corey Anderson in this fight. I know that he's still really raw as a fighter, only got 6 pro fights, but athletically, he's going to be at a huge advantage over Blachowicz, and I think Blachowicz is all he's going to be as a fighter at this point. We saw that even though Anderson got knocked out in the 3rd round of his last fight, I think he was actually starting to come back, and even though he was eating those leg kicks, and obviously they're doing some pretty big damage to him, I think he was starting to get the better of the striking a little bit against John Vellante in the later rounds of that fight. So I don't even think it's a case where, if Anderson or if Vellante didn't get the knockout, that Vellante would have even won that fight. So I think Anderson's got pretty good hands. He's going to be the faster fighter here. And the other thing is, Blachowicz did almost nothing against Jimmy Manuwa in that fight. I don't really see any reason that Corey Anderson, at the very least, can at least push him up against the cage. He's a very good wrestler. I think he can probably take Blachowicz down. And Blachowicz is another guy where he's got one of those fights in his past that I really just can't get out of my head, and that's when he retired after the 2nd round against Sokoudjou, of all people. You'd think you'd want to go out there and fight a 3rd round against Sokoudjou because he's going to be gassed and just waiting for a moment to quit. And Blachowicz he couldn't get back out there.
So you think that what we've seen from Anderson is enough to get the win here, or do you think that he'll need to improve a little bit and that we should expect that improvement?
No, I think what we've seen from him already is enough to get the win here, just in terms of the fact that he's going to be faster on the feet. He's got the wrestling, and even if the wrestling doesn't work, he can just control the fight up into the cage. So I like what I've seen out of Anderson already. Obviously, the loss in his last one was a bit of a setback, but I think this is a good fight for him to rebound and get back on the right track. UFC needs young fighters at light heavyweight to start making moves, and he's one of the youngest that looks like a decent prospect that they've got at 25 years old.
Sure. Nick Kalikas, are these names big enough to attract a decent betting for this fight? How's the betting been so far?
It's been okay. I mean, back and forth action, a lot of two-way action there, so there's not going to be a huge decision probably on this fight either. But a little bit more support coming in on Blachowicz, it seems like, and a lot of people are picking him as far as that goes. But I totally agree with what Brad said. I mean, across the board, I think it's one of these cases that a lot of people, Anderson had a lot of hype behind him before that Vellante fight as well. And, it didn't obviously work out so well for him. He got the loss. Then people were just throwing him in the trash can, kind of like, hey, this guy lost to Vellante. He's not going to go anywhere in the UFC. And now they're betting Blachowicz, or they're kind of leaning his way a little bit. But the truth is, if you look at how they match up, Blachowicz isn't really better. He's not a better wrestler. He's not as active striking. I think that Anderson can push him up against the cage and control it that way as well. So really, across the board, this is another coin flip fight. But if anything, you could kind of give some of the advantages to Anderson in this fight. So there probably is another, value on the dog here at this price. But the public is going to let Blachowicz stay as a favorite right now. On fight day, though, I think we will see more sharp action come in on the underdog.
Okay, likely to see this line go down. Guys, I'm completely sold. Thanks so much, Nick Kalikas and Brad Taschuk. Corey Anderson, plus 130 it is. Thanks, guys.